Okay, we're here over a homicide investigation that occurred in Bloomfield, Kentucky this morning at approximately 6 a.m. I'm Sheriff Ed Mattingly, spelled M-A-T-T-I-N-G-L-Y, and our deputies are working the case. It's an active investigation, so I'm not going to be able to give you a whole lot of information. What we are working on is a drug deal that has gone bad, and we have a deceased young man named Rasheed Wickliffe of Bardstown, Kentucky. He's 18 years old, and we have two subjects in custody that we are currently questioning by the name of Alexander Roberts, 18 years old, Bloomfield, Kentucky, and Trenton J. Lavorne of Bardstown, Kentucky. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. Initially, we thought we were working with a shooting, and it appears that we have some type of puncture wound to the neck that was lethal. So if I told you shooting earlier this morning, I want to correct that. The initially appeared to be that way.
So it was actually a stabbing?
We're preliminarily saying there's a puncture wound to the neck that was lethal.
Was he also shot? Was he also shot and stabbed?
We don't know that. We know that we have an entrance wound and there's no projectile in his body. There's no exit wound.
Can you give us an idea of what kind of weapon was used for a puncture wound?
I don't have that information at this time.
Do you believe that somebody intentionally punctured him with that, whatever it is?
In an altercation, he was punctured, yes.
Can you go ahead and spell Rasheed for us?
I have it as R-A-S-H-E-E-D. Wickliffe is W-I-C-K-L-I-F-F-E, and he's 18 years old from Bardstown.
And could you spell, is it Trenton Lavorne?
I have it as T-R-E-N-T-O-N. J is his middle initial. Lavorne, L-O-V-V-O-R-N. That's Victor, O-R-N. 19 years old in Bardstown. Be able to give you more information later. We're currently working with attorneys, representative from the prosecutor's office, and still conducting interviews. And when we arrive at the truth, we'll place the appropriate charges on the appropriate people.
Does it appear that he was wounded inside that home, or where did the actual altercation occur?
It appears to have started on the street near the post office at 125 Taylorsville or 131 Taylorsville Road. We took two people into custody at 125 Taylorsville Road. One of them happened to be the father of Alexander Roberts. He was shortly released thereafter. We still have Alexander Roberts and Trenton Lavorne in custody.
Mr. Roberts and Lavorne, have you had past criminal history with them?
They're both recently turned adults, and I'm not at will to discuss their juvenile history, but we are familiar with them.
Are they facing any charges right now?
Once we finish the investigation, we'll place the appropriate charges.
Are they expected to face any charges?
Right now, I think we're considering charges of possibly robbery or murder, but that's up to the Commonwealth Attorney.
Were these three friends? Did they know each other? Or was it?
I think they're all familiar with each other. The deceased and Trenton Lavorne have been friends and arrived together in the same vehicle for some time.
Are you aware of the type of drug?
I am, but I'm not at will to discuss because there's an active investigation going on that matter as well.
This is three young people involved in a pretty terrible thing. Does it seem like the people you're seeing involved in violent crimes are getting younger?
I think, each generation's different. This generation has issues that they're dealing with from glorifying drug dealing to violence being glorified, and there's nothing glorious about it. It's a terrible thing. We've lost the life of a young Bardstown citizen, and it's terrible. And for basically a little bit of nothing.
So Wickliffe and Lavorne came together?
That's correct.
And everything happened outside in front of the post office?
Between 125 and 131 Taylorsville Road.
Okay. Why were you guys looking for evidence inside the home?
Because the trail of evidence led that way.
Who does the house belong to?
I'm unsure. It's the residence of Alexander Roberts and his father, as far as I know.
Early in the morning, there was a car being towed. Was that car being held as evidence?
Yes, it is.
You may have mentioned in your first 10 seconds, how were you tipped off on this? How your officers responded to this call?
We received a 911 call, and EMS and the police were dispatched to that location.
Was it from a witness?
It was from Trenton Lavorne.
Were there any witnesses? Were there any witnesses?
Trenton Lavorne.
Okay, outside of the persons in question?
These are the only three people that we have involved are the people that I know are involved, or the names that I've given you.
Okay. But nobody hearing this?
No.
And you're not able to say what weapon may have
Not
been
at this
used?
time, no.
Do you have an idea when you expect to press charges? Will that happen today, you think?
We're in the process, we're working on it right now. So when we get to the appropriate point, that's what we'll do.
So the coroner said he died of a gunshot wound. So did he not die of a gunshot wound? What did he die of?
As I explained to you earlier, he died from a puncture wound in the throat. The autopsy has not been conducted, nor is it complete. It's just a preliminary thing that we asked them to do.
Earlier in the morning, there was a substance being sprayed from the front post office. Just want to confirm that was that the victim's blood.
Excuse me again?
Earlier in the morning, there was a red substance being cleared from in front of the post office in Bloomfield. And just want to
Most likely, yes.
Did you guys recover anything from that house that you were searching?
I'm not at will to discuss that right now.
Do you know if Wickliffe was a student at any of the local schools?
Excuse me?
Do you know if Wickliffe was a student at any of the local schools?
I'm not sure. I do know that at some point I coached him in baseball several years ago, but I'm not sure where he was in school at the time.
Can you speak on your personal, you coached him in baseball?
Well, it's two different things. We're here on a professional level, not a
Okay.
personal level.
What are some of the questions you're getting from family members that you see that some of them just arrived?
Actually, I haven't spoken to the family yet. We've had representatives from our chaplains that have been to the home, but I have not personally.
Can I ask what your deputies are doing right now?
We're conducting interviews and interrogation, and conducting searches on vehicles and houses, and that's still all ongoing. Probably gave the time on a press conference prematurely, working with you all at the scene. I want to give you information, but I can only give you information as I get it. And to jump to a conclusion you know, that we initially thought we were dealing with a gun shop when we weren't. You know, that's the type of stuff that happens if you jump the gun and come out with too much information too quick. So we're clarifying that, and if I get more information, I'll let you know. Any other questions?
Was he then on the scene?
Yes.
Will Sheriff Lowe be patrolling this time?
You know, we have guys out patrolling. At the time this happened, I had 2 guys coming on and 2 guys going off. We've got 430 square miles we're covering. Bloomfield City Police has 2 part-time officers that work 40 hours a week. So at any given point, you can say it's being patrolled, but you know, how well do you want to patrol? And we do what we can with the resources that we have.
To your knowledge, when was the last homicide investigation in Bloomfield?
Somebody asked me that earlier today, and I'm thinking 2003. I may have missed something in between there, but the latest one that I remember was 2003.
Is Lavorne is considered a suspect even though he arrived with her?
Like I say, we're in the middle of gaining that information, and the information has changed somewhat through the morning. All I can say is the drug deal went bad.
So do we know if the charges are expected by the end of today, if any?
I can give you a better idea here in the next couple of hours. Like I say, the Commonwealth Attorney is back here viewing all the information that we have, and we will place the appropriate charges, and it could be anywhere from robbery to homicide to, you know, whatever falls based on the information that's given.
Murder.
Homicide.
From robbery to murder.
So,
Let's get it straight.
homicide is death at the hands of another.
Well, okay.
The 2 in custody right now, I just want to make sure we're calling them the correct name. Are they suspects, persons of interest?
Yes, definitely.
Suspects?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a minor question, was Kenny Downs, chief of Bloomfield Police, in on this?
He was at the scene this morning, yes.
Okay, are they part of this investigation at all? Or?
They assisted at the scene.
Do you have any pictures of the suspect?
I don't have any available now.
Can you spell the suspect's names for us one more time?
Alexander Roberts.
Uh-huh. A-L-E-X-A-N-D-E-R, Roberts. What's the second one?
Excuse me?
What's the second one? The second suspect.
Trenton J. Lavorne.
How do you spell his last name?
Lovvorn.
L-A-V-V?
I have it as O
L-O?
in our system. I don't know if that's correct or not.
O-L-V-V-O-R-N?
Mm-hmm.
And they're both 18, correct?
That's correct.
Both from Bardstown?
Roberts is from Bloomfield and Lavorne is from Bardstown.
And can you spell the victim's name one more time for us?
Rasheed, correct me if I'm wrong, R-A-S-H-E-E-D, J. Wickliffe, W-I-C-K-L-I-F-F-E.
Was Rasheed what he went by?
Yes.
I've got a question. How come parents were never notified?
It's my understanding that the chaplains came and notified you.
after everybody else had notified me.
I'm in Louisville, found out on Facebook.
Well, sometimes Facebook, I know our chaplain was there by 9 o'clock this morning.
Well,
It happened at 6, didn't it? So why
Yeah.
y'all didn't come at 6
Yeah.
o'clock when it happened?
Well, we're
still, you know,
We're
I
doing-
found out about a press conference on news.
well, we're doing the best we can then.
I'm sure y'all are.
And
As usual.
I'm not here to argue with you.
I'm not arguing. It's my
It's
son.
his, it's
I
his
understand.
son, and you can, you gotta
understand.
appreciate how he feels. He
And
lost his son.
we can do that in private.
My nephew, I'm hurting like it's my own son.
Just like, you know, you made it sound bad from robbery.
The
But
drug
you know,
deal go bad.
yeah, drug deal gone
You don't
bad.
know, you wasn't there.
You know,
We
I
don't
watch a
know.
lot of your press conferences and you could do better.
We'll talk in
mark
private.
Don't mark a kid on what you think you heard. Know the facts before you put it out there.
And that would go for everybody. I'll talk with you all about it.
I just know that.
I wish y'all came a lot earlier before the press news talk to me. I will. Well, okay.